Hi everyone. In the last class, we have seen the concept of synchronization. Synchronization means it is able to restrict various threads to allow only one thread inside the critical section. And once it comes out from the critical section, it will give chance to the next thread based up by that depends upon the thread scheduler. That is the concept of synchronization. We will use the keyword synchronized keyword. Synchronized keyword to implement the concept of synchronization. Okay. Next topic is inter-thread communication. Generally, the name itself having clear meaning. Communication between various threads. We can call it as inter-thread communication. If you see the technical definition, it is allowing allowing synchronized threads. It is allowing synchronized threads communicate with each other. The same definition that I add one more point: synchronized threads. What do you mean by synchronized threads? The threads which are available in the critical section, meaning that, guys, try to observe. Uh, it is going to allow synchronized threads to communicate each other, meaning that simply we can say that cooperation between cooperation between various threads also we can say cooperation between various threads also we can say. I mean, what I would like to conclude is here there is a critical section. In the critical section, T1 thread is there. The critical section, T1 thread is there. Guys, don't think that what is critical section. Already explained. Critical section means it is the area where it is a shared resource. Shared resource. At a time, only one should have to access. Otherwise, you may get the inconsistency problem. So in the outside, T2, T3, T4, T5 threads are waiting to access this shared resource. Shared resource. Now, while executing the thread T1, while executing the thread T1, the thread T1 wants to pass his execution, and it need to comes out of the critical section. Wants to pass this execution and it needs to comes out. Before comes out, it is going to notify. It is going to give information to any one of the already waiting thread. Any one of the already waiting thread means what it has to do. It has to notify that information. It has to notify that information. Notify that information to whom? Any one of the thread which are waiting outside. Okay. Now what this T1 is doing? I am waiting. I don't want to execute. So please take your turn. That message is going to define it as it is going to notify to T2, T3, T4 threads, so that once it comes out, it releases the lock. And this lock will be acquired by any one of the thread. Any one of the thread. Okay, guys, please observe while explaining this notify method. I will explain. Notify method will able to notify to only one thread. Will able to notify only one thread. Notify all method is going to notify all the threads. I hope you understood. So it is going to notify only one waiting thread which is waiting at outside. Notify all is going to notify to all the waiting threads. Guys, do you think that all the waiting threads are related to same object? Do you think that all the waiting threads are related to same object? No. This thread may belongs to object 1. This thread may belongs to object 2. This thread may belongs to object 1. This thread may belongs to object 1. Object 1. Okay, now like this, all the waiting threads are from different objects. So once it will give notify, that notification will be send it to only one waiting thread, but not for all the threads. Sir, what we need to do if you want to make like that? Generally, we'll have three types of methods. So to make inter-thread communication, we'll have three types of methods. One is wait method, another one is notify method, and another one is notify all method. These are the three methods which are used for to communicate between the threads, which are in synchronized area. Okay, here the important point is you are thinking that as we are discussing the concept of threads, you are all thinking that these three methods are present in thread class, but it is not correct. These methods are present in the super class, that is object class. The way notify all methods are all available in object class. Sir, why these are all have declared or implemented in the object class? Because there is small reason. You already know this wait notify all is using where in which location we are using this concept. We are using this concept in the concept of synchronization. In the concept of synchronization, meaning that where critical section concept is there, there we are using the concept of synchronization. Synchronization concept internally working with what principle? By using the concept of locks only, right? By using the concept of locks only. But these locks are available with whom? These locks are available with whom? These locks are already available with only objects, or with locks. So that is the reason they implemented in the object class. They implemented in the object class. Okay. So to understand these three methods, let me have some small scenario. For example, there is a friend one. There is a friend one. There is a friend one who is trying to do some task. Who is trying to do some task. Then what he will do is uh, he is working on that task. He's working on that task, and he is not that much interested to continue the same work. Then what he can do is he can say that, "Array friend F2, friend F2, I am going to wait. I am going to pass my work. Please take care. Please continue your work. Please continue your work. Please continue the same work." Then what the F2 can do? F2 can hand over that work, and he will do that work. One second. He will do that work. One second. We'll do that work on site. Now, assume that he is in waiting state. F1 is in waiting state. Now, after completion of some time, F2 completed the work. F2 completed the work. Then what the F2 can do? F2 can inform to F1. Array friend F1, please go to home. I have completed your work. Please go to home. I have completed your work. So this is the scenario where we can use the method wait method. So what is the use of wait method? Wait method, wait method is going to release the lock. Release the lock. What lock it is going to release? For example, this is a thread, right? So F1 means a thread, T1 thread, T2 thread. T1 already having a thread. T1 already having thread. T1 already having a thread, meaning that it is having some lock or not. It is having some lock or not. Yes. So before going to wait state, what it has to do? It is going to release the lock. It is going to release the lock and will wait for another thread. Will wait for another thread until it got information. Until it got information. Until it got information. Meaning that if he release the lock, that lock will be acquired by whom? T2. T2. Then only T2 can do work. If T1 doesn't release the work, release the lock, T2 can't able to access this critical section. So that is the reason wait method is going to release the lock and wait for another thread until it got the information. Until it got the information means until it got notification. Until it got notification. Notification from notify method or notify all method. Notify all method. So meaning that if F2 wants to send some information, he can use notify. Can use notify. Now, for example, like this, there are multiple works are there. F3, F4, F5, all some works are there. Now, F3 is also in waiting state, F4 waiting state, F5 also waiting state. All are related to object one. All are related to object one. Then, if he wants to inform to all the people, if he wants to inform to all the people, then he can use the method simple notify all method. And the method simply notify all method. Notify all method. Guys, in the real scenario, is all threads are related to same object? No. This may be related to O2. This may be related to O2. This is O1. This is O1. Like for example, guys, uh, uh, you are in bus stand. You are in bus stand. You are in bus stand. At bus stand, you are all so many people, hundreds of people are waiting for the buses. Are waiting for the buses. Now in the bus stand, you got some kind of announcement. You got some kind of announcement. Announcement. Will everybody will take this announcement for to their personal? Will everybody take this announcement to their personal? No. For example, Vijayawada bus arrived, which is at the platform 9, which are the platform 9. The people who are interested to go for Vijayawada, they only listen and they can take that announcement. They can take that announcement. All the remaining people won't consider that announcement directly. Am I right or not? Similarly, notify all method is going to give notification to all the people, all the threads, but the threads will take only which are responsible for that notification. Which are responsible for that notification. That response we can able to identify with the help of simply object name. Simply object name. So simply we can say that this is something like thread T1, thread T2. So this is in waiting state. This is in waiting state. So this thread, what it is going to do? This thread is expecting updation from whom? Updation from T2. Updation from T2. Then that thread it needs to perform wait operation. It needs to perform wait operation. Once it performs wait operation, it is going to enter into which state? Waiting state. So uh, like what we can call life cycle of thread. I said once we call wait method, sleep method, all it is going to non-runnable phase. It is going to enter. So like that, it is going to enter into waiting state. Okay, this T2 is responsible for what? This is responsible for to perform updation. To perform updation. After performing updation, it is going to give notification. It is going to give notification. Notification. Once it got notification, it will start its work once again. It got notification. It is going to start its work once again. Okay, now, guys, please make sure that one important point here. These are all the methods. These are all the methods should have to use for what? Inter-thread communication, meaning that for only synchronized threads, meaning that where you need to use only synchronized area. You need to use only synchronized area. Otherwise, we'll get error. Otherwise, we'll get error. What is that? Illegal monitor state exception will get. We'll get illegal monitor state exception will get. Okay. If you see the profile of this wait method, all this public, final, void, wait method. Wait method. So like this, there are three types of constructors are there. Sorry, methods are there. Public, final, native, void, wait method of long milliseconds. Guys, native I already explained. This is implemented in other language. Public, final, void, wait of long milliseconds into nanoseconds. Guys, when you are in waiting state, somebody may come and they can interrupt you or not. they can interrupt you or not. At that time, it is going to rise interrupted exception. It's going to write interrupted exception. Is this interrupted exception is which kind of exception? Checked exception. So you need to handle this at during compilation phase. So wait method always going to throw interrupted exception, rise interrupted exception. So you need to handle all this. And notify method. Notify method is like, so what are these? These are all overloaded methods. Overloaded methods. Public, final, native, void, notify method. Notify method. Another prototype is public, final, native, void, notify all methods. Okay. So this notify and notify all methods. Is there any chance to get any kind of interrupt? Who will give information? Who will give information? By using notify method, they can give information. Is there any necessary to interrupt while informing? There is no chance, right? So it won't have any kind of interruption. So it won't raise any kind of interrupt exception. So no need to handle specifically. No need to handle specifically. Okay, now. Fine. So with this, let me go for some example so that you will get much clarity. What I will do is, I will create one thread. I will create one thread. So how to create thread? I'm going to create some thread. For example, CSC. I'm going to extend from which class? Thread class. Thread class. And what you need to do? You need to compulsory implement run method. Otherwise, there is no use of using the concept of thread classes. Now, what I will do is I will go for taking some range, For example, I equal to 1, I less than 10, I plus plus. I am going to perform some operation, total equal to total plus a. So I am going to declare all these methods. Declare all these methods. Then what I will do is I will call this thread. I will call this thread from main method. I will call this thread from main method. For example, class A public static void main string aux. How we are going to call? Simply by instantiating thread class CSC equal to new CSC. I am going to start creating thread. Once you start thread, main method is going to start execution and child thread also starts execution. Now what I did is system.out.println I call like c dot okay, fine. Let me go for declaring a global variable. I mean local variable uh, int total equal to 0. I will call this variable c dot total. C dot total. Now guys, what is the output you can expect? What is the output you can expect? See the thing, once you know the correct execution, you can expect the answer as one answer is 0. What happened? Up to here, main thread starts execution. From here, main thread starts execution from here, and child thread starts execution from here. These two threads start executing parallelly. These two threads starts executing parallelly. So can I able to access this total variable c dot total? Main thread also start executing, child thread start executing. So if at all give the first chance to main thread, then it is going to access and prints the 0. Print the 0. Then after that child thread executing, there is no problem. There is no effect on this variable. You will get only 0. For example, if it got first chance, child thread got first chance, then you may get the answer as I think 1 to 10, right? 55, I think so. 55 good answer. For example, while executing child thread, middle main thread got chance. Then you may get a chance as like 22 or something, right? I mean, you may get the result some value between 0 to 55 or not. Yes, that you know already. Just I'll go for execution. Just see. Doesn't rate a main display method, right? Hmm. I'm going to create a thread. Create a thread. So it require run method obviously int total equal to 0. Total equal to 0. I'm going to take one for loop. For int I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. total equal to total plus I. Every time I need to exam. Exam. Then I am going to have main method public static void main. I am going to create a thread instantiation without passing anything. Now I have created thread. First statement is what? Instantiation. Second is creation of thread. Second is creation of thread. Next I am going to get system dot out dot println of println of. I can call the total variable, right? C dot total from the main method. Am I right or not? Yes. Now what happened? Line number 15 up to we have only one thread. From line number 15 you have two threads. So from line number 16 main thread starts execution. From line number 6 child will start execution. So whichever they got first chance, they are going to start executing their own work. Now let's see what is the output we can expect. Java space. So what happened? You got the value as 0 or not? The sum is 0. Why you got the sum as 0? Because main thread got first chance. The sum is 0. Almost in all the cases you will get 0. But there are some cases you may get some value. Let us try for some time. Maybe you won't get. Okay. It depends upon thread scheduler. Thread scheduler. So thread scheduler is giving the priority to main thread. Okay. Can you give chance to what? Okay. No need. No need. Instead of that, what I can do is I can go for. I can go for. So can I go for sleep method? Can I go for sleeping of main thread for some time? Can I go for sleeping of main thread for some time? So that can I get the output 55? What happened? Sum is 45. Maybe it is less than. Okay, fine. It is less than. See, what happened? As main thread is waiting for main thread is waiting for 1 second. Meanwhile, child thread completed its execution. Child thread completed its execution. That is the reason we got the answer as 45. If it didn't return anything, it will it make you priority to this one. Give priority to this one. Okay. Now the thing is, 1 minute. Now the thing is, can I give here 10,000 seconds? So in order to, so why I have given only 1,000 seconds? Because I know, 1,000 milliseconds. Because I know, I know this task can able to complete in 1 second. Can able to complete in 1 second. That is the reason I have made the main thread as sleeping. Sleeping. Please sleep, main thread. Please sleep, so that child thread complete its task, so that you can complete the total value. That is the reason I have given it as 1,000. But in real time, can we really know? Can we really know? Can we really know how much time the child thread or some other thread will take this much time? Really don't know. Don't know. That is the problem here. See, if for example, I have given 10 seconds, it will wait for 10 seconds. See up there, it will wait for 10 seconds. After that, you will get the output. See, after completion of 10 seconds only, you will get the output. Am I right or not? Yes. So that is the reason. That is the reason that thread dot sleep method. This is not recommended approach. Not recommended. Not recommended approach. Okay. So I made it as comment 1 second. Now let me once again execute. See guys, now we got the sum is 55 once again. Maybe I need to. Now I didn't change any code. You got sum is 55, you got sum is 0. That depends upon the thread scheduler. Okay, na? Fine. So instead of this sleeping the main thread, why can't I use join method? Ma? Can I use join method? What is the purpose of join method? Purpose of join method? It is going to wait it is going to wait until child thread completes. Join method waits until the child thread completes. After completion of child thread, then only the next statement is going to execute. Observe. Am I right or not? Am I getting the output or not? Sum is 55. See, the meaning of join method already explained. Meaning that it is going to wait until other friend completes its work and చెప్పాను. For example, see here, total variable is available in which location? Only at line number 7. Only line number 7. For example, here 1 lakh lines of code is there. 1 lakh lines of code is there. 1 lakh lines of code is there. Now, what the join method will say, and after completion of child method, what is the child method? C. After completion of child method, then only I will start executing my main thread. Then I'll start my main thread. So for example, here how many lines of code is there now? 1 lakh plus 8 lines of code is there. So after completion of 1 lakh 8 lines code, then only it will start give priority to next line. Next line. But is there necessary to execute this 1 lakh lines of code for to execute 19th line? For to execute 19th line? No need, right? No need. Then we'll go for a method is wait method. It is wait method. So what is the drawback of join method? Join method need to wait until completion of child thread. Completion of child thread, irrespective of unnecessary also. Unnecessary also. So for the scenario set, instead of that, what I can do is I can go for using wait method. For using wait method. So what does the wait method is saying? The wait method says I am going to wait for another thread. What is that another thread? Child thread. Child. See, observe. Child thread. So I will wait. Then after completion of this child thread, then I will execute. I will start execution. Now, observe. Here, one important point I said while explaining the concept of these methods. The thing is, you need to all you need to what all the methods you have to use in the area synchronized area. So if you see, I will make this comment. If you make use of this c dot wait method, you will get an error. You will get runtime exception. What runtime exception? Illegal monitor state exception. That is I explained. So that is the reason you have to make it in synchronized area. You have to make it available in synchronized area. So instead of what process you can use? It's better synchronized block, right? Synchronized block. What we need to do? Synchronized block, a synchronized object, or what? Here we need to use synchronized object. Why? I need to make the C object. P dot wait. P dot wait. Then I can simply call synchronized data. P dot wait. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Wait method is going to wait until it got notification, meaning that it is going to execute the next statement until after getting the notification from the child thread. after getting the notification from the C thread, for your understandable C thread. So if I am not mentioning any wait, if I am not mentioning any notify, will it is going to execute? What happened? Sum is 50. Got the answer or not? But the thing is, when it is going to execute after completion of all these entire lines, after completion of this all 1 lakh 8 lines of code, then it will start executing 23rd line. 23rd line. I don't want like that. I don't want like that. I want to execute the statement 23 immediately after perfect completion of this for loop. Perfect completion of this for loop. Then what I can do is I can use notify method. I can use the notify method. Notify method. Notify method need to implement through which object? The current thread. This dot notify. This dot notify. So notify method I need to declare in which location? Which area? Synchronized area, compulsory. Compulsory synchronized area. So what I will do is, I will make this entire thing. I will make this entire thing in the synchronized area. Synchronized of this thread, current thread. Synchronized of current. Once it completes this task, it is going to immediately give notify. Then the child thread will continue this 1 lakh lines of code, but here we are not waiting. We are not waiting. Observe. See this much small thing. You won't be able to get the exact idea. I'm giving a little bit clarity. What happened? Sum is 50. Okay, so this is the way you need to use. This is the way you need to use the wait method and notify method. Okay. The thing is, notify and notify all methods. I have given the difference, right? Notify and notify all. Notify is going to give notification to only one thread, one waiting thread. That's it. It doesn't provide to all threads. For example, 10 threads are waiting. 10 threads are waiting. 10 threads are waiting. Even the 10 threads are waiting, this notify method is going to give any one of the thread. We don't know exactly. It is going to give only any one of the thread. But notify all is going to give to all the threads, but depends upon the thread, depends upon the waiting thread, that depends upon the type of notification they are going to respond. They are going to respond. Okay, now here one thing you may get, I don't know exactly whether you got the doubt or not. I would like to say one thing. Uh, Somebody may got some kind of question like wait method. Just now I have explained, and sleep method. What is the difference between these two? Difference between these two. Okay, guys. Sleep method and wait method are meant for. This is available. Wait method is available in where? You have to remember. Is present in the object class. It is a method of wait class. Internal meaning is same, but there are a lot of differences are there. Guys, this wait method is going to release the lock or not? It is going to release the lock and wait for the response from the other side. Wait for the response from the other side. Is sleep method is going to release the lock? Sleep method doesn't release the lock. Release it. If you see the profile of this wait method, the wait method is non-static, non-static. Whereas profile of sleep method is static mode. I have already given the syntaxes. And what about this wait method? The wait method will be invoked by whom? Wait method will get will what will have wait method uh, after the next statement. If it needs to execute, it has to get notification from either from notify method or from notify all methods. Notify all methods. But whereas coming to sleep method, no need of any kind of notification. After some particular time, after some 1,000 seconds, after some, for example, if I write like this, sleep of 1,000 milliseconds. After 1 second, it is going to start 1 second its work. Meaning that after certain specified time, automatically this corresponding sleep will be completed. This corresponding sleep will be completed. Okay. Na? So this is all about interthread communication. Next concept is deadlocks. Deadlocks. So um, what we can say, deadlocks means simply uh, like right, two or more threads, two or more threads are blocked forever. Blocked forever. For example, let me have a small scenario. Small scenario. I mean, for example, three students are there. For example, three students are there. Three students are there, and they are trying to. I'm just taking one scenario. Okay, so these people have to complete their task. These people have to complete their task. To make completion of their task, everybody need. It's not everybody. Uh, Everybody need two pens. Let us assume that everybody need two pens. Two pens. So for example, this person is having one pen, and this person is having one pen, and this person is having one pen. All are having one pen. All are having one pen. Now, if they wants to complete their exams, S1 need one more pen, S2 need one more pen, S3 need one more pen, S3 need one more. Then what we can do is, a particular student can take pen from others, but thing is, S1 already started writing the exam. S1 already started writing the exam. S2 also started writing the exam. S3 also started writing the exam. Now, what S2 can do? S2 can ask for a pen. Array S1, can you give your pen so that I can complete my exam? Similarly, S1 also can ask S3, array S3, please can you give your pen so that I complete my exam. Similarly, S3 can also S3 can also S2, array S2, can you please give your pen so that I can complete our exam. See, the condition is S1 won't give his pen to others. S2 won't give his pen to others. S3 won't give the pen to others. Everybody is asking to others. Everybody is asking to others. Now S1 won't give pen to S3. S3 won't give pen to S2. S2 won't give pen to S1. I made reverse. S2 won't give pen to S3. S3 won't give pen to S1. S1 won't give pen to S2. Now what happened? Nobody will get one pen and nobody complete their exam. Nobody complete their exam. All will get 0 marks. All will get 0 marks. So this is the situation. Two or more friends are blocked forever without writing their exam, without completing their exam. This is the situation. We can call it as deadlock. 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 Guys, what is the reason to discuss this topic here? Because whenever 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 you are using the keyword synchronized keyword. Whenever you are using the keyword synchronized, you are using the keyword synchronized, automatically there is a chance of occurring deadlock. Automatically there is a chance of occurring deadlock. So synchronized is the only keyword which is responsible to create the deadlock. Sir, is there any solution? There is no solution. we have to prevent ourselves while writing the code. That's it. There is no particular solution. Okay, fine. The thing is, let me take one scenario. For example, let me have a class. Let me have class A. Let me have class. We have a class B. Here, there is a method called. There is a method called first method. There is a method called last method. Here also there is a method called first method. Here also there is a method called last method. There is a method called last method. Now, what I am going to do is here. Let us assume that. Let us assume that for class A, object is created. That object name is A. For class B, object is created. That object is B. That object is B. Okay, fine. So here thread T1, thread T1 has created has using the object A, and thread T2 is using the object B. Now thread T1 will call which method? Thread T1 can call thread T1 can call first method. Thread T1 can call first method, and and it is passing, and we are passing here, for example, for the situation I am saying, and I am passing here the B object. The B object, meaning that thread T1 trying to execute first method by passing which object? B object. By passing which object? B object. Now with respect to this B object, can I able to call this last method? Can I able to call this last method so that this last method can execute or not? Yes. Similarly, thread T2 with respect to B object, it will call first method. It will call first method, and it will pass A object, so that with respect to this A object, it can call the last method of A class, so that it can call this. It can call this. Okay, guys, is there any problem with respect to this structure? Whatever the structure that I have explained, there is no problem at all, because T1 try to execute, T1 thread trying to execute. Whenever it got a chance, it will call the last. Whenever first method is executing, whenever it is calling a dot last, it is going to execute this. Guys, why I am questioning here, it will execute or not? Why I am questioning? My question is, when this method is not going to execute. My question is, when this method is not going to execute. The thing is, when two or more threads are trying to execute, the same method or same class, two or more threads are trying to execute under a synchronized area. Under a synchronized area, then obviously you may get the chance of not executing, but the thing is, here I'm not using any kind of synchronized area, so there is no problem at all. Even though you are having any number of threads, all will execute perfectly. Now what I am doing is, I am making here this method as synchronized method, synchronized method, meaning that here the object A, meaning that T1 acquires the lock. T1 acquires the lock of A. T1 acquires the lock of A, and starts executing, where? This first method, and it will call the last method. Is there any problem here? There is no problem at all. Similarly, thread T2 will make lock on B. Can it call the last method? Yes. There is no problem at all. It can lock. Now I would like to make small modification. Here I will make synchronized. Here I will make synchronized. Here I will make synchronized. Guys, don't get confused. In the afternoon also, concept, while explain this concept, for all the synchronized methods, it needs to take lock first. It needs to take lock first, then only it can able to execute. Then only it can able to execute. Am I right or not? Yes. Here the thing is, now, uh, now thread T1 acquires lock of A, thread T2 acquires lock of B. Thread T2 acquires lock of B. Here observe, try to observe clearly. T1 T1 acquires a lock of A. T1 acquires a lock of A, and at the execution time, it got, oh, it is confusing once again. For the execution, it is trying to execute a statement called last method. Trying to execute a statement called last method. This last method is calling for which object? B object. B object is locked or not? B object is locked or not? B object is already locked. Why we need to check whether it is already locked or not? Because it is a synchronized. It is a synchronized. That is the reason I need to observe. So T1 acquires a lock of A. T1 acquires lock of A, acquires lock of A, and it is trying to ask for, and it requires the lock what? B lock, and it acquires B lock. But B lock is already locked by whom? B lock is already locked by thread T2. B lock is already locked by thread T2. Now, so for example, T2 is trying to execute. T2 requires what? T2 while executing, it requires A object. A object. But A object is already locked by 1 minute. A object already locked by uh, already locked by T1. So the thing is, I would like to make a mistake here. The thing is, sim T1 already is using the A object, already using the A object, so that it can execute that statement. T2 also, T2 already using B object. T2 already using B object. Now the thing is, T1 asking for B object. T1 asking for B object so that it can able to execute this last method. T2 asking for which object? T2 asking for A object so that it can able to execute this this A object. This A object. Okay. So this is where you will get the situation, deadlock situation. Observe. If you observe it clearly, if you observe clearly, here you will get some kind of cycle. A is acquired by T1, T1 is asking for B, B is already acquired by T2, T2 is already acquired by T2 is asking by A, asking by A. So there is a kind of loop. Whenever there is a loop, that in that situation we can call it as a deadlock. Situation is a deadlock. So this is the concept of deadlocks. Sir, how can we overcome this problem? How can we overcome this problem? Can we overcome it? No, it is not possible. We need to handle this in our threads. We need to handle it in our coding part only. So deadlock situation will rise because of only developers mistake, or because of less resources. Because of less resources, deadlock may rise. So let me show some code so that how this deadlock will happen. Let me show the code how this deadlock will happen. Okay, for example, the same example I will take. The same example I will take. I will take two classes. I will take two classes. The class name is, for example, CSC. CSC. So I need to define methods, right? I'm going to define methods public. So I'm going to define the last example. All are synchronized. All are synchronized. 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 Synchronized void. Let me save this program first. Yes. Deadlock. Deadlock. The method name, for example, first. Method name is first. I will try to write system dot out dot println of head starts execution of first method. It starts execution of first method. First method. Then what I will do is I will make sleep this thread for some time so that I will make for wait for 2 seconds. Right? I'm going to make sleep. You need to handle right. So I will make use of catch block exception e. I don't want to write anything. I will just make use dot println uh, head one head one trying to call mm, which one last method of B is last method is last method. Now close this first method. Then I make declare once again one more method public. This method also should be synchronized method only. Synchronized void last void. Hmm. This is where this is where last method of CSC. So trying to call is last. Okay. So this is CSC class. Next I will take ECE method. ECE class. The same code I will copy. You can copy. First synchronize first and I'm trying to make the same process. But here the thing is thread 2 or thread 1 or whatever thread trying to call is CSC CSC last method. CSC last method. What you need to do? You need to call CSC last method, right? CSC dot. The thing is, can we get directly CSC here? No. Here also, I need to make ECE last method. Do you think that directly call? We need to access that object, right? How we are going to access that object? That object we need to create once again. I need to call with respect to. Yes, I will make clear. We'll get the clear idea at the last. So I need to call last method. I need to call last method. Which last method? ECE last method. Here I need to call which last method? CSC last method. CSC last method. I made last method of ECE class. Last method of ECE class. Now what I will do is I will create thread. I will create thread. How we are going to create thread? I. So on the thread itself, I will make execution main method extends thread. Now I can able to create object, right? CSC equal to new CSC. I have created object of CSC. ECE equal to new ECE. I have created the object of ECE. Now what I need to do? I need to pass. I need to pass some object here. What is that object? ECE object I need to pass because I need to call the last method of ECE. So that is the reason I need to pass ECE object. So what I will do is for to generate two threads, like one is main thread, another is child thread. I will make uh, s- uh, first what I will do is I will first generally it is a thread class, right? Implementation of thread class, not extension of thread class. So compulsory we need to override run method first. I will override run method. So this run method, uh, I am going to call from this run method. Guys, observe whenever I created uh, thread thread for deadlock, meaning that thread for deadlock, immediately what will happen? It is going to start executing from run method or not? It's going to start executing from run method. So here observe, I just made like that. Deadlock class used for to create child thread. You already understood. It is not necessary right now after completion of these many examples. See, whenever I have created a thread of thread deadlock class, obviously it is going to run which method? Run method. Which method? Run method. Now I would like to call. I would like to call uh, EC first method. EC first method. Or else simply, if you don't want to confuse, I would like to make E first, CSC first. E first and CSC first. So if you want to call EC first method, if you want to call EC first method, what is the way to call EC first method? I can able to call with respect to EC object, right? So that simply I can write E dot E first. E first. So E first is expecting what object? E first is expecting what object? E first, we are trying to give E first input as CSC last method. I need to call CSC last method from EC. That is the reason I need to pass the CSC. Don't get confused. I want to call the last method of CSC. I want to call the last method of CSC. CSC last method calling. Last method of CSC calling. So I need which object? CSC object or not? So that is the reason I need to pass here CSC object. What is CSC object? C is object C. So this will be executed by one whom? Child thread. This will be executed by child thread. So now here you will get here you will get CSC object. Right on. So that I can able to call C dot last. C dot last. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Where I have created thread, ma? Is there anywhere I have created thread? No, right? First, let me create a thread. Public static void main string string box of. I'm trying to create a thread. So how to create a thread? Thread instantiation deadlock b equal to new deadlock. I will make call of d dot some method like jk d dot jk. Why I'm making d dot jk? Because observe. Don't get confused once again. JK method, I am not making it as static public void JK method. I'm not made it as a static. Not made it as static. If I made it as static, I can go for here itself. I can go for here itself. So what I will do is I can go for, so it can call d dot jk. So now this jk method is going to execute. 1 minute. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fine. What I need to do? Yes. I have instantiated freedom. Instantiated have instantiated thread instantiation. After instantiating the thread, I want to run my thread. I want to create the thread. So that thread I am going to create from the JK method. So how can I create that thread? See, observe. I can call this dot start. Why I need to make here? See, this is a static. Observe. Now, with respect to this C object, can I call first method of CSC? First method of CSC. If my interest is, observe. I made this as intentional. Why? Because see, whenever this dot starts occurred, it creates thread. It creates thread. Creates thread. Once it creates thread, which object this one? This means what? D, right? This means D, right? That corresponding thread is going to create, which is extended right thread. It is going to create thread. So once it's creates thread, that thread is going to, that start method will check for what method? Run method. So it is going to execute this by passing what object? C object. Now up to here main method starts executing. From here child method starts executing. This method is executing by whom? Main method once again. So that is the reason I have created two threads. So now what object I can pass here? Can I pass E object so that I can call the EC last class. So here EC, okay. Are you getting any confusion? See, I have completed my complete task. My interest is actually I made it as hard. I need to pass objects. Meanwhile, I need to create two threads. That is the reason I made this much complexity. Okay, now what I will do is I'll make remove of all the synchronized keywords. Now try to run Java C space block dot Java. Variable E is already defined. Okay, exception J already defined. Exception K, exception L, something. And, so that meant for is for, right, print stack method calling all those. Let's fully run Java space deadlock. What happened? Let's start execution of first. Thread trying to call CSC last. Thread trying to call EC last. Last method of CSC class. Last method of EC class. Meaning that all are executed or not. Thread trying to call. Let's start execution of CSC first. Let's start execution of EC first. All are executed or not? Yes. But when the deadlock situation occurred, it won't execute the last method. See, observe. Why it has got some late? Because I use the method sleep method. See, observe. Last method of EC class executed and last method of CSC class executed. In the previous phase, thread trying to call CSC last completed before this one. So as we are not using synchronized keyword, all are executing simultaneously. That you have to understand. Okay. For example, I made here synchronized. I made here also synchronized. Is there any effect on that? No effect. Observe, we'll get once again that zigzag only. Waiting for 2 seconds and thread trying to call last. See, you got zigzag or not? Zigzag or not? Yes. Now what I will do is I will make this method also synchronized. This method also synchronized. Now you can observe the difference. Observe. Thread let's start execution of CSC first. Let's start execution of EC first. Are you getting any output? Why? Are you getting any output? What happened? Thread trying to call EC last, thread trying to call CSC last. But now the cursor here, it always blinks some. It always blinks. You won't get output because the scenario that is what I have explained here. The scenario that is what I explained here. So T1 is trying for T1 is already having uh, T1 already having a object lock, and it is asking for B object lock, but B object lock is already with the T2. So T2 won't release, meanwhile T1 won't release. So both doesn't release. So both are dependent each other. Both are dependent each other. So this situation we call it as deadlock situation. See, after completion of some time also you want to. Okay. I made it intentionally execute. See, once again if I execute, now also you will get same thing. We're trying to call, that's it. Trying to call, but it won't call. See, observe. Thread trying to call EC last method, but if we want to get E object EC last method, first it need to acquire the lock of E, but that is already acquired by someone. That is the reason you are getting you won't get an output. Okay, I made it instantly skip. This is the concept of deadlock. I hope you understood everything. Thank you.